So that's where I want to start, because one of the questions that I got was, well, let's say you worked well with a co-facilitator for a while, but then all of a sudden you're working together and they're really triggered and they're up. What do you do? Another variation of that was, what if the co-facilitator you're working with is a source of a trigger for you? So we'll just stay in there for a while. As you look at the video that I just recommended, and if you're not quite there yet in the course, you will be, just how do you prepare with a co-facilitator? And so you may want to take another look at that to see what are some of the questions. And one of those is just, what's your design in general? How do you like to facilitate? And how will I know if you're triggered? And what can I do if you feel triggered? How can I support you? And then you saying, I'm hoping they'll ask you, but if not, say, well, here are some warning signs when I'm triggered, and here's what's most helpful. Now, particularly if this is cross-group memberships, across your privilege to their corresponding marginalized, from your marginalized to their corresponding privilege, having a conversation beforehand, it won't take care of everything, but if you have a signal or a sign, or you know that you've negotiated, if you're up and they think you're triggered, here's what I do, especially when I'm working across race. The other person's up and I notice they have a change in energy or tone. Usually I make sure I'm sitting someplace where I can just see them and take a look. And they may, give me a sign like come in, or I'll just kind of put my hand up real gently. And if they don't call on me, that means they're fine. But if they do, I might say, I have a thought. So notice what I'm doing out of my privileged identity, most likely. I'm offering to come in. I want them to bring me in if they want. And if not, because if I just kind of jump in and they're like, I got this, I'm just one more trigger on top of another. And so if they choose to bring me in, and then I say, well, I have a reaction or a thought if it might be useful, then focus goes on me for a bit. I might say something that gives them a chance to get centered, breathe, maybe go inside, wonder what's going on. If people respond to me, I make sure that I keep their authority as the lead in the room, because I'm probably sitting down at this point. I mean, I may stand up if I'm doing something with the whole group, but I keep checking in with them and say, do you want me to take it? And then they may be willing to come back at some point. If they're like, nope, you go ahead. So honoring their authority, their leadership, and offering to take some time where I'm leading for a bit so that they can do whatever they need to do so they have a thoughtful response in that moment. And they may come back in and say, appreciate the conversation. I want to go back to what we were talking about, because in that moment I had a reaction. So they may go all kinds of places, but often when I'm facilitating and I'm feeling triggered, it's helpful for my co-facilitator if I don't know it and they come in, and then that gives me that quick moment. A couple other things you can do is when they move, let's say they don't bring you in, but when they move to a break or a pair or a reflective activity, just check in with them and just say, so how you doing? Oh, I'm doing fine. Okay, I could be wrong, but it seemed like your energy shifted there for a minute, and I wondered if maybe you hit a hot button. I just gently offer that as an option, and they may not know they're triggered. I may be wrong. And if nothing else, most likely the people I work with, folks will say, yeah, I was hitting a bump just there. And so all I'm going to do is ask, how can I be supportive? Do you want to talk about it? Do you want me to listen? And they may say, no, I'm fine. And they may say, yeah. Another thing I could do is just say, in that moment, I had a moment too, and I could talk a bit. If they don't go there, I might say, this is what was going on for me. Most of what I'm trying to do is show up as a colleague to offer support, offer a listening ear, a place to debrief, and they can choose to go there or not. Because I have so many privileged identities, I think I hold back from saying, you looked really triggered. I don't try to put my assessment onto them, but just offer a place that folks might do.